In the previous video, we explored the Fusion 360 user interface, including your tool ribbon and the data panel and the browser comments, view cube, all these different things. And now we're actually going to put some of those things to use. All that we're going to do right now is we're going to create two things. We're going to create a cube and we're going to create a sphere. Two very simple objects, but they're made differently. So first things up is the cube. Whenever you're creating a part of any sort, you're always going to start with what's called a sketch. A sketch, which is this tool right here, just go ahead and click on that and just select one of these planes. It doesn't really matter which one you do. I'm going to select the bottom one for now. Now what the sketch has done is that it's allowed us to draw a 2D side of what our object, in this case a cube, so we're going to be drawing a square because that's what sides of cubes are made of. Now you can see our tool ribbon has changed and it's created this sketch, one that was not a part of this yet before. But the tools are now for creating two-dimensional things as opposed to three-dimensional things or three-dimensional constraints. Now it is two-dimensional constraints, allowing us to create lines, circles, squares, rectangles, any sorts of polygons. It's allowing us to fillet things, to add dimensions, to mirror objects, all these different things. You can even add text if you want to. So for right now, we're going to select this 2-point rectangle, and you can see that now there's something on my cursor. And I'm just going to select this point that's called the origin. It is the intersection between the X and Y axis based on the plane that we chose earlier. Go ahead and click on that. And now you can see I'm kind of dragging out this rectangle or potentially square, whatever we decide to make it. You can also see the two dimensions, the width, which is highlighted right now, and then the height on the left side of this rectangle. So before you press anything down, this will help save some time. Go ahead and just input the dimensions. Just click a number, anything, as you don't need to select anything like that because it's already highlighted. So for this, we're going to make a 3-inch by 3-inch rectangle. So I'm going to put a 3 in there, and don't press enter. If you need to select the other dimension, you need to click tab, and then you can put your number in there. Again, it's going to be 3 for us, and it's already, you can see on the width, it's defaulted to inches. You can change that in the document settings over on the browser, over to the left here. But for right now, now that we've had our dimensions in, we can go ahead and press enter. And you can see that it's highlighted this area, and all that's letting us know is that this is in fact a true polygon. There are no breaks in any of the sides, and that all the lines are connected. Take note that if you ever have a design or sketch in the future where there is not shaded area, that means that regardless of how small the break is, there is a break somewhere in the sides. It's also included those dimensions that we made earlier, which is very helpful. Otherwise, we'd have to input those manually one at a time. So now that we've done that, you can see that our view cube has defaulted to going above whatever the plane that we had was before. You can click the home button above your view cube and you can see that we can navigate around the square that we've made. So now that we are done with the sketch, you press finish sketch at the top right, and you can see a couple of things. One, obviously the sketch exists here. Two, down in this toolbar or this bar down here, you can see that I have made a sketch. And that it shows up in that order. In addition, you can put down this menu and you can see the sketch right here. This is titled Sketch 2. It'll probably be Sketch 1 on if you're making this for the first time. You can also, you see the little eyeball? As you guess, you're able to make the sketches invisible or visible depending on what you want. So here's where the fun part happens, where you actually make the cube. So there's an extrusion tool right here that you're going to go ahead and click on. And this is going to allow you to pull that square into three-dimensional space. So again, you can pull this in or out depending on, you can put it whatever direction you want. You've got a little toolbar over here that popped up that's going to give you a bunch of information, what type of extrusion you want to do, which profile you have selected, how many, you can select more than one, which side it's going to be doing it on, the distance that what type of thing you're going to do, whether if you have a different object up here that you can just make it go to that object, or you can make it go through everything. Right here, you can change your distance. So because we're making a cube and we had a 3-inch size before, we're going to also make this 3. The taper angle is going to do a couple of things for us. It's going to allow you to make triangles, and it's going to allow you to make trapezoids and anything along those lines. You can set this to be positive or negative, depending on which way you want to make these polygons, these shapes. And then you can have it be a new body, or you can join it to something. So right now we just have a new body because there's nothing else to join it to. We're going to go ahead and put the taper angle back to 0. If we were doing this off of another shape, then we would use a join. If we wanted to cut into or dig into the shape, we would use a cut, and I can show you those in just a minute. Right now, there we go. We have our cube, and as you can see, you've now also have an extrude, and you also have a new thing here that's called bodies. The body is this actual physical three-dimensional object. So in addition to all this stuff, now you can grab your view cube using your left mouse button, and you can move it around and you can see your object. And if you ever get disoriented, remember you can just click the home button and it'll set back to whatever settings before. What I was saying with the extrude is that you're able to go out further. You can do more than one extrude, or you can get rid of the entire part, whatever you want to do at that point. And you can put sketches on other parts. As opposed to selecting these planes, this is now where you can put sketches on other parts. And this is where I was talking about the cutting into. If you made a square on the top of this part and then you extruded that square, you're more than happy to extrude this out. And you can see that this is already selected join for us. You are capable of making it a new body, and it will make these two objects separate and not join together. In addition, you can use the cut tool to take out from this object, take out a square on the inside, and you can see how that works right there. So now that we've got back, now we're going to make a sphere. So you can go ahead and get rid of the things that we've created before, and we're going to, as you start with all things, you're going to do a sketch. And this one we're going to do pretty similarly. Again, select whatever plane, I'm going to select the bottom. So here we're going to do two different lines as opposed to using the rectangle tool. So the line tool is this one up here. The shortcut for it is L. And knowing the shortcuts for all these things is going to save you a lot of time. And so you can select a line. You can see I'm pulling it wherever direction I want. It'll snap to the different 90-degree directions, whatever that may be. In this case, I'm just going to put it up. We're going to make it 5 inches long. And now we're going to create a curve. So if you pull on this create drop-down menu and you select on arc, and you want to have a 3-point arc. So the 3-point arc is, well, it uses 3 points. So the first points that you're going to select is a starting point. You're going to select the end point, and then you're going to be able to pull the arc out. And you can basically make it as big as you want. So because we're making a circle, you actually don't want a circle, which seems counterintuitive, but you actually want a half of a circle. And you'll understand why in just a second here. So let's go ahead and make that. And now we can finish our sketch. And you can see that we have, again, the shaded area, which is very important. And then instead of doing extrusion, because the extrusion is just going to create our half circle right here, what we're actually going to do is we're going to use what's called the revolve tool, which is right here. The revolve tool allows us to take a design and a line on that design and revolve whatever the part is around that line. So as you can see, we're going to go ahead and select the profile, which is this thing. And then you want to select the axis. Now the axis is very important. We're going to select this line. So basically what has happened is we started out with this, and then it revolves around it, going up, slowly making it bigger, and you can just have it revolve around the entire tool to 360 degrees. And now you have a sphere. And so that's all it is. Yeah, nice.